Hi there, everyone. I'm Michelle.
I'm Jim, and we are a Teague of Your Own.
Welcome to another Motivational Monday.
Let's get motivated. Woo!
Woo! Yay! Fun weekend.
Yeah, we had a good weekend.
Yeah, we did. Went to the Duran Duran concert.
We did.
Yeah.
And almost did it on a spur of the moment.
Yeah.
We knew about it, but we hadn't purchased any tickets.
Nope.
And as I was perusing the ticket websites, got to StubHub and found some great seats for a very good price.
Yeah.
And that was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon with the show that started at 7. And the reason we did that is because being aware, we knew the show wasn't sold out. So I knew that there would probably be some good deals, and we found a good one.
Yes,
so
we did.
You can see the pictures of the show on our Facebook page.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah, it was good. You got some great pictures.
I did.
Yeah.
I know. Amazing.
Yeah, no, they're really good pictures.
Cameras do amazing things.
They do.
I mean, it's incredible what they can do. It's just, the phones that we have, the cameras that are on those phones, just
capture those moments.
Oh my
gosh. And we had good seats, so you could see what we were looking at. And
it was cool.
It was a good show. Good show. Highly recommend it. If you get a chance to see them, go.
Yeah. How many more shows do they have left?
I have no idea. I've seen the one that was close enough for us to attend, so I think there's probably about a half dozen left, maybe. So, but they're not finished.
No, they'll go out again.
Yeah, they'll go out again.
Yeah, good tour.
Yeah, they all look like they're in pretty good shape, especially for their ages. They're doing well. So
yeah, they're in their 60s.
Yeah. So
we were looking that up yesterday.
Yeah, we were.
It's kind of nice.
They look rather good for their ages.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be happy that I don't care what I think.
Exactly it. If any members of Duran Duran are watching this, please let us know.
Yeah.
All right.
Like that's gonna happen.
One of the other things that we did this weekend was start to declutter.
Yes.
Something that everybody has to do from time to time.
Yes, we're at that point. So it was time to do a little bit of what?
We're past that point.
Oh no, we're well past that point, but finally got to some of it.
Yes.
And it's when we talk about decluttering, you can talk about your physical space.
Yes.
And your mental space.
Yes.
Or your mental space. And I think we've done a little bit of decluttering on both counts.
Yep.
And it is needed. You're right. It was well past the point. But we're getting ready to do some things that really pushed us to do that, or at least, especially with the physical decluttering, it pushed me to do a lot of that. Well, I've been doing it.
And it's not, like you said, it's the physical part, it's the mental part, but then you also have the technology part.
Yes.
Somebody was telling me about every 3 months they'll look at all the groups that they belong to on Facebook, and they'll start getting rid of the ones that they don't.
That's not a bad idea, because I'm in a bunch of groups, and most of them I look at it and going, why am I in this group?
Facebook is similar to the marriage system here in our country, where they make it very easy for you to get into.
They're tough to get out.
But they make it's work to get out of a group.
Yeah.
And I don't think that should be the case.
Yeah. Well, so there's a lot of different ways that you can declutter. And what are the advantages of decluttering?
It helps you to stay focused, because when you are in an environment, when you're in a physical environment that has a whole lot of clutter, it's hard to concentrate.
It really is.
It's hard to pay attention to what it is that you truly need to pay attention to. It's hard for you to focus. When you have clean lines, when you have clean space, it's a whole lot easier to focus on the task at hand. Anybody who has ever worked on a PhD know exactly what we're talking about, because when you get to the dissertation phase of your PhD program, your house is the cleanest that it's ever been in your entire life.
Yes, because you'd much rather clean than write. In most cases. Some people like to write. Some people really love to do it. But you're right. For most people, they would rather clean their house than work on their dissertation.
And as a result, they don't have a whole lot of clutter.
That's
But
true.
a part of it is because when you're sitting there and you see it, you're just like, I need to get rid of this. I need to get rid of all this clutter. So that way it doesn't take away from what it is that you're trying to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that can happen in your professional life
Oh, yeah.
as well.
Easily.
Yeah, I've seen some people with offices that were just piled with
Oh, yeah.
clutter. And for some of them, I've had a few colleagues like this, the clutter was not removed until they retired.
Yes.
And quite often they had somebody else removing the
Yeah.
clutter. Now, I must admit, when I left my position, I did leave behind some stuff because I had no idea what to do with it or how to dispose of it. It wasn't a tremendous amount. It was 2 shelves on a bookcase.
And piles and piles of paper.
Oh, with the piles of paper. Yeah, that was old stuff that I'd been meaning to shred. And the problem is shredding is a time-consuming.
It is.
And even I knew that I could have a student worker shred all of that stuff. But I was never comfortable with that because there were tests with grades and things on there.
From, years ago.
I understand that,
Okay,
but I
then.
still was uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
But I still would have had to have transported it all down to the office where they could shred it. And when I was there working, I just didn't want to do that. So yeah, so they finally got somebody to shred it. Thank goodness, because they had to get it out of there.
Yeah. Well, it's because somebody else moved into your office.
That is true. Somebody else was moving in. Yes, so they had to get it out of there. But I got the bulk of the stuff out. You helped me.
I did.
Office looked pretty good. Once I got everything out. Not that it looked horrible, but it was busy. There was a lot in there.
There was a lot. Yeah. And for some people, going for the minimalist effect is helpful.
Yes. I probably would have been better off going for the minimalist effect. But the problem is then people walk into your office and they think, is he actually gonna stay here? There's nothing here. What's he doing? I did that in graduate school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't take much of anything on I didn't care about decorating my office. And actually in previous positions I didn't do much decorate. I did this one because I was there for 15 years.
Yeah.
So I added a bunch of stuff. Prior to that, I didn't do much of anything.
When you were at St. Vincent, you had some pictures there.
Yeah, a few, but not much.
A few things on the wall.
Right. And when I left there, it took about 30 minutes to pack
Yeah, it
up.
wasn't long.
It didn't take long because I didn't take much in there.
Johnstown was
There was a lot.
several trips.
Yeah, it took 3 trips.
Yeah. And having said that, when it comes to clutter, like I said, one of the reasons why you need to go through and physically declutter your spaces, so that way it makes it a whole lot easier for you to focus.
Yes.
But a lot of people get overwhelmed.
Yep.
And it's like, where do I even start?
Right.
If you are that person and you're just like, well, what do I do first? Literally look at one space.
Yes.
And just do one space at a time.
Pick any spot and start.
Could be your desktop.
Right.
Literally just start with your desktop. And what you're going to find is once you get started, you will just keep going.
You just keep going.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I did because I had boxes that were from that move from my previous office that I needed to move into a storage space. And I've been putting it off. And now it's finally done.
It's done.
And along with a bunch of other decluttering, a lot of stuff you find, you'll have papers and things that you'll look at it and go, this is from,
why did I say
why did I save this? Why do I still have this? And easy enough to throw out. Magazines.
Yeah.
Magazines, you got to determine if I'm going to keep these, if you are, where are you going to keep them, things like that. But you're right, when you declutter that physical space, then it makes it easier to declutter the mental space.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
A lot of people have stuff up here that they hang on to a lot longer than they need to. Examples are phone numbers from when you were growing up.
We didn't have phones for the most part, so I don't remember.
I can remember my grandparents' phone numbers from when I was in, elementary school.
Really?
Yeah.
So in Greece, we didn't have a phone. That was 2.5 years. in Germany, we had phones that we weren't supposed to use
Yeah.
because it cost every
A
time
lot of
that you
money.
called, didn't
Yeah.
matter where you called, down the street or on another continent. I don't remember our phone number from other places that we lived in the States growing up. So the only phone number I have from my past that wouldn't say it clutters up my head, it's programmed in my phone, is my parents. And that's it. That's the only one.
Yeah.
I don't remember some of our old phone numbers.
That's because you didn't call them.
Right. Other
That's
people were calling
it's
us.
hard
Right.
to remember your own phone number because
Right.
you never call it.
Right.
It's easy to remember other people's phone numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
But I know my parents' phone number because they've had the same phone number for, oh goodness, going on 30 years. Is that right? I guess so.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like my mom. I call my mom every Sunday evening. I know her phone number, and she's had that same phone number since the early 80s.
How about that? Okay.
So
about the same as my folks.
yeah.
And that's not clutter, but yeah, you may have that other kind of stuff in your hand. There's something. Yeah, we all have something floating around in our hand.
So what you can do is write it down somewhere in electronic form that you're going to be able to actually access it, and then literally tell yourself it's okay to let go of this piece of information.
Right. Well, then the other thing that you need to declutter is sometimes your old attitudes about things.
Yeah.
And that can be tougher than information.
Yes.
Information sometimes can be in there, and
well, attitudes tend to be tied to habits.
That's true.
And if you've made it a habit to have a specific attitude towards people or things or events or whatever, you may need to reprogram those attitudes and form new habits. New habits.
That's James Clear, his book Atomic Habits. It's one of the things that I've been working on.
Yes.
And so trying to change certain habits and build new habits.
It's not, and one of the things he talks about in Atomic Habits is making small changes.
Yes.
Over a longer period of time.
Right.
And that's the thing about building habits is it does take a period of time to build a habit. It takes, depending on who you talk to and how many times that you do something. But you need to do something consistently over and over and over again for several times before you can actually build that habit. And if you aren't given the opportunity to actually do that thing or have that attitude or whatever, then it's going to take you longer to build.
And then one of the things James Clear talks about is taking habits, and I probably talked about this already, but stacking. So you have one habit that you have, and then you take another habit that you want to develop or ingrain, and you tie it to that. So my whole routine in the morning is one giant stacked habit, and that's because I have to make sure that I feed the puppy dog and then feed myself.
Well, and Molly will reinforce your
yes habit. Molly is definitely great habit reinforcement. She will let you know if you are off schedule. Yeah, she's good at that.
She is. It's amazing how dogs can tell time.
They can.
She knows when it's time for her chewy. She knows when it's time for supper.
She knows when it's time for breakfast. She knows when it's time for lunch. She knows when it's time for dinner. She knows when it's time for supper. She eats 4 times a day.
She does.
That's for diet reasons.
Well, the other thing is for supper, it literally pops up on the TV, and she knows.
Yeah, she knows when that's up there. It's okay. It's time for me to eat. Yeah. So she has those habits. Even dogs, they have those habits. And if a dog can develop habits, then we can develop them. But we can also, unlike a dog, we can consciously, for us to change the habits of a dog, we have to change it. We have to reprogram them, or attempt to. Usually they reprogram us. As people, we can reprogram our own habits. And again, that means decluttering and kicking and getting rid of some of those old habits.
Yes.
And old habits are hard to kick.
They are. And one of the ways that you can do that is to set goals for yourself.
Yes.
That revolve around those new habits that you're trying to really hold on to. And if you set the right goals, the habits will help you achieve those goals.
Right.
And so if somebody needed help with goals, who could they turn to?
Who do we know that specializes in helping people with their goals? Oh, that would be us.
Us?
Yeah.
Us.
Hey,
We have an entire program.
we do.
Do you remember what it's called?
Are you talking about Ready, Set, Goals or Goal Getters?
Ready, Set, Goals is a good one if you don't know what it is that you want to set as a goal.
Okay.
Goal Getters is good if you already have the goal in place and you just need somebody to hold you accountable.
I just wanted to mention both of them.
Yeah. So 2 programs we can help you with: Ready, Set, Goals and Goal Getters. If they wanted to reach out to us and talk to us about those, how could they do that?
If they wanted to talk to us,
Talk. Imagine that. Talking
people
with
still
somebody.
do that? Oh my goodness. Telephone. 412-420-7975. You don't have the thing on the screen.
412-420-7975. So
They
I
can
can
text
use
us there
a
too.
phone
You can use a phone.
to call somebody, not
Yes.
just to take pictures.
Yeah, for more than you taking pictures and checking email and all the rest of that good stuff.
I could
Yes.
use a phone to do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing. Those things that are nearly been surgically attached to people's hands, you can actually talk to people through those.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Text?
Text, you can text. So
Okay.
people who don't like to talk, like our daughter, you can text.
Well, how else could they reach us?
Our Facebook, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so social media.
Social media, that was
And
crazy.
if they want Facebook or
Facebook,
LinkedIn, or an Instagram.
yeah.
We're also on YouTube, so please follow, subscribe to our YouTube channel. How else could they contact us?
I don't know. Did I forget something?
Email. They can email us.
Hello, duh.
And what is our email address?
info@ateagueofyourown.com.
info@ateagueofyourown.com.
Or they can go to our website.
Our website is ateagueofyourown.com.
That's clever.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Wow.
Amazing how those two go together,
Yeah,
hand in
wow.
hand. Nice. All
It's
right.
almost as if it was planned.
Almost. Oh my goodness. All right. So get started decluttering.
Yes.
Declutter your thoughts, declutter your physical space, declutter those Facebook groups and
Declutter your habits.
and your attitudes and your computer.
Yeah.
Although I will say one thing, I have worked with people years and years ago who will contact me and say, do you still have this file? And I do.
You do.
Because I'm a digital pack rat.
Yeah.
However, it's not on my actual computer. I have a separate hard drive that I keep things on. So yeah.
Yeah. Pays to keep that stuff sometimes.
All right. So sit out there and start decluttering. And we will see you next week, everyone.